This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. So I want to make sure I cover something that I think is incredibly important for you to truly understand how it takes to be successful trading. I'm going to go through a sequence of trades using one stock that's in an uptrend and trading pullbacks as a swing trader. Okay, we're looking at these trades over the course of, say, a couple days to a couple weeks, and we're trying to hit a target and just get out. Okay, when we play for short trades, shorter term trades, we're always looking to take targets and not necessarily trail a stop. All right, so I want to make sure I go through this because we're going to look at 4 different trades. Actually, it's more like 6 different trades, and show you how the different entries, how you're going to get stopped out, how you're going to have to re-enter. All these things come into play when we're looking at this type of situation, but I think it's going to teach you how to become, what it takes to be successful trading, and it's not easy. All right, so let's go ahead and get going. Now, if you want to learn more about these techniques, I would suggest clicking the link in the description to find out more about the book. Also, if you do enjoy this type of content, please hit that like button and also subscribe. All right, I've got the stock of Metlife here, and on the right side, I've got a daily chart. On the left side, I've got an hourly chart. So this is the 2 time frames I would trade using for swing trading. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to start on the left side here. We're going to work our way through. If you notice what took place in this stock, we had rising moving averages, okay, that were moving up at about the same rate. We had MACD above the 0 line. And we had a strong ADX condition in place. All right. Now, several different types of trades take place depending on what the MACD is doing and what price is doing in relation to the 18. But the fact of the matter is we get our first pullback here. Okay. And that coincides right here. You can see I've got these lined up. So we go through a corrective pattern on the hourly. All right. But if we notice on the higher time frame, the MACD is holding its signal line. All right. And we have good strength in the ADX. So when we have that, we can be a little bit more liberal with our entry points. And in this situation, I would tell you that you can take the closing bar. If we close above the 40 after being below. So if we have the setup is 18 is below the 40. And price closes below both moving averages. All right, so we have the setup right here on this bar. So at that point, I'm basically saying as long as the MACD is holding above the signal line and we have strong ADX on the higher time frame, and this holds, as long as this holds above the MACD signal line, I can take a cross of the 40 after I have this setup, once I have the setup in place. So we buy the moment this crosses above the 40. We use 2 ATRs. As a trailing stop. And if you notice, we had a big green bar right before that, which is nice. So we're basically putting it, using 2 ATRs, we'd be putting it probably right underneath the body of that bar, maybe a little bit lower, something like that. But then we go and we get our 2 times. So we're risking 1 unit, which is 2 ATRs, all right, and 2 times. And 2 times would be our target. So 1 unit of risk is 2 ATRs, and 4 ATRs would essentially be a target. All right, so it's 2 times the risk unit. So if we're risking this much, our target would probably be somewhere like that. So we get 2 times. So I'm not going to show you the exact details, but I'm telling you that you'd go and hit a target if you used a simple method of putting a stop loss in and putting an order out there as an OCA, an order cancels all, and you just put it out there and don't do anything else to see if it goes and hits the target or do you get stopped out. All right. The only other thing you could do is go to a break even once you get to 1-to-1. But in this case, I'm just going to look at it like we've got the target out there, we've got the stop underneath, and we're going to go see how many of these go and hits the target. So this one goes and hits the target. So we're moving in the right direction. We've taken 1 trade and we're up 2. Right? We've made 2 risk units. All right. So we go now to the second trade. We make another move up, and this time we get MACD overrun. Okay, we don't hold the signal line, and so close above the 40 is not a signal. Even though we had a setup on this time frame, we can't take that trade because we have overrun. Now we do get reverse divergence to show up, and we still have a strong ADX condition in place. So I'm still willing to take this trade, but I'm going to take it as a trigger 3. We cross above the 40, and then we pull back to the 18 right here. Okay, it happens to be a pinch play, but we're basically taking this as it's moving up, and in this case it would be taking out the 3 just because of the way it opened that day. All right, so we're in here. Again, our stop is going to be 2 times the ATR, which if it's close, we're going to put it below these lows. So let's just say 2 ATRs would be here. We're going to make it a little bit wider than that. We're going to put the stop there. All right, but we're in here. We've got our stop in place, and then again we're going and we're going to hit 2 ATRs. So we're now at 4. We've taken 2 trades, and we're up 4R. Okay, all right, and just so we're understanding this, if you're risking $200 per trade, all right, you've made $400 2 different times. All right, that's what we've done so far. All right, let me clear the board. All right, now if we keep going, we get another move up and we pull back. Now, are we willing to keep taking these trades? We are, because we've got a parallel line condition and we've got strong ADX in place. All right, now MACD here has overrun. It doesn't form a reverse divergence, but if we have overrun, it doesn't disqualify the trade. We'd be looking for a move up. We'd be looking for a move up and then a test. All right, so let's go and move forward and show you how this played out. So if you notice the way this worked, in fact, let's just make sure we're on target here. So we go up into the zone, and we come out of the zone. Okay. And then we make a move to the upside with a big green bar here. All right. Now, the way I look at this, you don't know. So it's, in other words, you have to assume that this was the move in the zone coming out, undercut this barely. And then as we started to move to the upside, you've got to take this trade right here. Okay, and that would have been an entry here. Your stop might have been below that low, but it might have been tough to do that. Either way, you got stopped out of that trade. All right, so we had 400 win, 400 win. Now we take a $200 loss. Okay, now understand, if you're watching what's taking place on the higher time frame, we got stopped out here, but then the next day you opened up and you turned right back to the upside with a big green bar, okay, after undercutting this low. So we can look at this and say, this is the trigger. This is the trigger. We kind of, we didn't jump the gun, but we took what we qualified as a trigger, got stopped out, and now we're taking this trigger here. So this is why trading can be so difficult. Now, keep in mind, we don't have any real strong selling here. So we can take this trade. There's no doubt we can take this second entry. All right, you have to stay on top of this. If you take a loss, sometimes you just say, I'm done. Let me move on or whatever, and lick my wounds, and I'm not going to trade for a day or two because I took a loss. Right? No, you can't think that way. You got to stay on top of it, because if you notice, we still have a condition in place that's very strong. Okay, so we can come back in this and take this second trade. So now we make 400, we make 400, we lose 200, but then we take this trade and we make another 400. Okay, do you see how that works? We're taking a losing trade, and then immediately the next day after getting stopped out, we're getting a trigger on the original setup. Now this can be really hard to do, and this is what I said in the intro. This is why trading can be very difficult, but you have to be able to stick with this as long as the higher time frame is still showing us quality setup. Then we have to keep taking it. Now we move up and we make a pullback. Now again, we can't just look at this and say, oh, we got in over here. We look at this pullback and it moved to the upside. Now, yeah, it had overrun. So we're going to have to see how this played out on the smaller time frame. So let's go and take a look at that. So if you notice the way this played out, we had a move to the downside, we cross over. And so this is a trigger 3 because we went straight up through this move here, right? So that's different than what we just saw back here which was a trigger 2 that got us in, all right, and then turned back around and then came back to the upside, and this was kind of another modified trigger 2, right? So this is a little different. This is a trigger 3 where we go up and we pull back. Now we were looking for the pullback. The pullback happens to be a pinch play here. And if you notice, green DI started to come back into it again. All right, so we got green DI coming up, holding 25. We've got the cross of the 40 and a close above the 40, and then we wait for our first pullback. Now it didn't come back to the 18, but that is a qualified trade. In that situation, we can definitely take that setup. We take that setup and we get stopped out on this big red bar here. All right. So again, if we're keeping track, we 400, we make 400, we lose 200, we make 400. Now we lose 200. Okay. Now we stay on top of this. Why? Because, okay, we do have this big red bar, but look at the moving average environment. Look at the ADX on the last up move, all right, on this last up move, very strong, okay? And if you notice, now that we've come down here, we have reverse divergence in place. Let me clear this up. So we're making a higher low here and a lower low here. We now have reverse divergence. Now, we have this big red bar. That is an issue. It's not like we're going to go running in this because, you know, we have overrun on the we do have overrun on the 60-minute chart, right? So we got to watch this and see how this plays out. Well, it comes into the zone and then comes out and then comes into the zone, and it does make a move here. Now, if we're looking at this, let's just understand what we're looking at. At this point right here, let's just look at what bar that was. That's this green bar right here. It's an inside bar after another inside bar, which was after another inside bar. So look at what's taking place on the daily chart. We get a big red bar and then an inside bar here, an inside bar here, and another inside bar here. Well, I'm not taking this signal here when it's an inside bar inside all these. So these are all, we're talking about inside price action, okay? We have to at least take out the inside bar. We really want to take out the midpoint of this big red bar. But once we start forming these inside bars, we really have to take out the high of these bars. And that doesn't happen until over here, which happens to be this big green bar coming up through here. All right, hopefully that makes sense. So again, we took a loss here, but then as we're watching this, we got to be careful. Once we see the big red bar and we see these inside bars forming, we have to use the higher time frame for this, right? We have to understand what we're looking at and saying inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, and then we get kind of an undercut of the inside bars, and then we come back up through here. This is a quality signal, in my opinion, because we're breaking out above 3 inside bars after undercutting them to the downside. I really like that. So that's this big green bar here. And again, that goes on and hits a target. So if we go and we look at what's taken place here, we had a buy here that went to a target. We had a buy. Well, let's just look at these. So we had a buy here that went to a target. We had another buy here that went to a target. We had a loss and then a buy that went to a target. We had another loss and then another buy that went to a target. All right, so you have to mix these in, and these were on the same sequence, right? The last 2 sequences we had a loss before we had a win. But if you notice, we lost 1 and then we won 2, so we netted 1 on both of those sequences. So you know, netting $200 on a move like that, to me, it's worth it if we're going to keep trading a sequence of trades to the upside. Then this is the way it's got to be. You know, if you find a pattern that is playing out like this, where we have a solid trend in place, you can keep taking this as long as we're looking at a sequential wave, as long as we're not getting crazy, as long as we're making higher highs and higher lows and we're not jetting away from the 18, we're going to keep this 18 and 40 rising at about the same rate. We can continue to trade that. Now, if you notice what's taking place, this has kind of gotten to an elongated move to the upside, and it's not really pulling back. It's taking a little too long. And notice the 18 is starting to climb a little bit faster than the 40. If that keeps up, we wouldn't want to play the next signal. So if this continues to jet away and they separate, then we wouldn't have as good a situation as we did on all of these coming back. All right. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. Went through a lot of different things, understanding that you have to take a loss sometimes and then follow it up with a gain. And sometimes you'll take another loss. You might take a loss here and then take another loss here, and then you have to go and look at the next trade as long as this pattern is still in play. All right. So hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.